Hey everyone, so in today's video, I thought I would try on a full face of Nabla cosmetics. I have not tried out anything from Nabla. I mean, I'm sure I have. I've been on YouTube for a long time, but nothing that I can really remember. They send me enough makeup for like an entire full face, so that's what we did today. I also have a couple of like channel updates for you guys, upcoming content changes, like why I'm in this room and not in my typical filming setup. So all those sorts of things. So I hope that you guys in general enjoy it. Don't think I expected at the beginning of this video for it to end the way that I did. And with that, let's jump right in. So this is the Radiant Plumping Serum Primer. It's their Angel Aura. I do have a little bit of the Rhode Glazing Milk on my skin already. There is a bit of sparkle in here. Not my favorite. But the texture feels really nice. Texture feels like almost a thinner version of the Glossier Future Dew, but it doesn't feel like greasy, which is nice. No like weird smell to it or anything. Yeah, I'd say this is like a pretty similar product to Glossier Future Dew. Now I'm looking in the mirror right now and I'm not like seeing any of the sparkle on my skin, which is a good thing. But let's jump into foundation. So this is the Nabla Skin Realist Beautifying Tinted Balm. They sent me two different shades. I have the shade 1 Fair and then Light 2. I have a feeling that Light 2 is just going to be a little too dark for me. Yeah, I mean, I have a little bit of residual self-tan on my body, but I think that this shade, just looking at it in the bottle, is probably not going to be a great shade match for me. I'm not gonna pump it just because that is a completely new item, so I might not even swatch it for you guys. I hope you understand, because like completely new items are really good to donate. But the shade 1 Fair looks, I think, like it's gonna be a better shade match. So it's a tinted balm that perfects skin texture and contains microspheres of hyaluronic acid. Funny enough, I just talked about how I'm not completely sold on hyaluronic acid in like foundation products. I love the idea of this being a balm foundation. So let's go ahead and see what we got here. It does have a creaminess to it, but I'm not sure if I would call this like a true balm. I wasn't expecting to put this on with my fingers, but as I'm applying it, it like really melts into the skin well with fingers. Look at that. That looks really beautiful. So this is like one pump of foundation. It's honestly giving nice coverage. Kind of feels like, I don't know, like a skincare item. I understand why they call this a balm. I'm not sure if it's as thick as I was expecting it to be, but I mean, that could be a good thing. I think it looks a little bit glowier under the lights, but like in real life, this has way more of like a natural kind of skin finish. I'm actually kind of surprised. Like this has set down and does not feel like a lot of product whatsoever. I'm just gonna take my sponge and kind of press. Honestly, I don't think it's half bad. When I look really up close, I feel like my skin looks good, but it could just be a little bit more blurred. I think I just want, I don't know, a little bit more of a perfected effect. They also sent me 3 shades of the Regeneration Uplifting Creamy Concealer. I am just not sure how this is gonna go. You guys know how I am with concealer. So that's the shade Porcelain. Nothing's really coming out. I don't like the way it smells. It kind of has that paint-like smell that I get a little bit worried about with concealer. Shade Porcelain is very bright. I probably could have gone with another color. Just blending this in. It is very lightweight, just like the Balm foundation. I think I just wasn't expecting all of these makeup-based products to be so lightweight. I'm gonna take a little bit more and just press that in with a finger, right just like where that hollow is, just to get a little bit more coverage. The thing is about like everything so far is that it all looks fine, but I'm just not blown away. However, they did send me a couple of their blurring blushes, so I'm really excited about this. A good blurring blush I think is so underrated. I was just talking about this in my recent video on makeup staples and like finding the right makeup staples to invest in for you. And personally for me, I think a blurring blush formula can definitely be one of those items. So let's go ahead and see how this works. It's very pretty. Yeah, and it's also like, I don't know if you guys can tell, but it is definitely mattifying on the skin, which I think some of you will really like. That is usually a sign to me that the powder is going to last well. It's very lightweight and it is buildable. I'm finding that I'm applying a lot just because I don't have a bronzer that they sent me. I'm just gonna kind of take it on the eyes a little bit as well and onto the forehead. It's definitely blurring. I immediately noticed that that it's giving me a little bit of that blur that I was hoping the foundation was going to give me. So that's really nice. I talked about in my recent video the Put It Everywhere bronzer. I feel like this could be a Put It Everywhere blush. Do you see how I'm still applying it and it just looks like really, really fresh. They also sent me the shade Petite, which I will open it just so that you guys can get somewhat of an idea of what this shade is like. It's definitely one of those kind of baby pink shades. It feels nice just to have like more of a casual video with you guys, where I just like sit and put on makeup and talk about what I'm doing. Because I've been doing more, actually, I'll give you guys an update in a second. But let's first start getting some stylos onto the eyes. These are the Cupid's Arrow full color stylos. I don't know if you guys can see that. They're essentially like matte cream eyeshadows. I'm sure that you could use these. Like they're definitely multifunctional. But I love when a cream shadow has this more like pointed tip. I think it really makes it nice for application. But yeah, I've just been doing more content as of late on like concepts that I'm interested in with makeup rather than like strictly product reviews. And it's just been kind of nice for me. I think especially in the summer when like there are less products coming out, I think it just is nice for me to kind of take a step back and talk more about the aspects of makeup that just have really been inspiring me as of late. I am somewhat in the process of moving. I know that sounds like so odd, but that's definitely given me some time to like reflect on like, you know, while I'm packing my makeup, just like reflect on my makeup collection, reflect on the products I love, the products I don't love. Definitely getting like some declutters up as well pretty soon. But yeah, I've been thinking more about how to build a makeup collection that you really, really love. By the way, that just blended really, really beautifully, and I feel like this is a very secure formula. But I think that even though I don't think I'll ever have like a quote unquote like normal makeup collection as far as because of, you know, like what I do here. And part of my job is trying out a lot of formulas. Still think that I've been undergoing this kind of like curation process and decluttering process. And it's been really interesting to reflect on the way my makeup preferences have changed and just the way I look at makeup has also kind of changed. By the way, does that not look so pretty? I really, really like these stylos. If this lasts all day, I will be a very happy woman. Let's see if I can build this one up. By the way, this is the shade Arrow number 2. I'm gonna kind of wiggle it into the lashes as well and see what happens with that. But yeah, so I've been, again, thinking more about makeup, my makeup collection, the products I'm actually reaching for. I've just been really enjoying thinking, meditating on my personal makeup style, my makeup preferences, and it's quite honestly been really nice because it's kept me from becoming a little bit disillusioned by makeup just because of like all of the constant makeup releases. It can just be a little bit daunting sometimes for me. So again, if you've seen me like kind of mix up my content, that's why. I feel really good about what I'm talking about in some of my recent videos, like how to build a timeless makeup collection, how to wear trends that feel right for you. I think these are just feeling really good for me because I think it's just so nice to be able to take a step back and think of makeup as a whole rather than just think about makeup as product launch to product launch. My kitties are trying to get in here, but they will be playing whack-a-mole with the lights if I let them in, so that's just not gonna happen. I think just for like a little bit more intensity, I'm going to use this deepest shade that I have here, which is Arrow number 11 Deep Brown. I love this. I love these. They're, again, like they're kind of a mix between an eyeliner and a cream eyeshadow. They have like the flexibility that you want out of like a stylo or a cream eyeshadow, but these really stay in place and have like a great intensity. Again, if these are more long wearing, I'm gonna be so pumped. Yeah, so I hope that you guys are enjoying those kinds of videos. Admittedly, I'm really hoping that they're sustainable on my channel. They are not performing the same way as some of my like typical content does, but they feel really good for me to do and they keep me feeling inspired and like I feel good doing them. So I'm just hoping that it translates and that's translating and that like eventually something will happen and they'll like pick up and become more sustainable for me. So that's my hope. I really hope you guys enjoy them. So yeah, that's kind of like a little bit of an update. The moving process kind of explains like why I'm filming in a different spot. The content change up kind of just explained that. But next, let's go ahead and try the Vicious Volume and Definition Mascara from Nabla. This mascara packaging is definitely doing the most, and it is a little bit creepy. The wand on here also has very tight, short bristles, and I have a feeling that this is going to dispense a lot of product pretty quickly. This doesn't seem like a very natural mascara, but I think we've kind of taken the eye look a little bit outside of like my typical natural makeup. You know, there's a little bit more impact here, so it could actually go really well. Okay, so I curled my lashes and let's go ahead in with the mascara. Keep looking down. It's because I don't have my typical setup, obviously, and I'm looking down at a mirror that is that way, when typically my mirror is like over here. Let's get this mascara on. Wow. It's definitely like a spikier bristle. This is really pretty though. It has this way of extending certain lashes out in a really complimentary way. There's just kind of like this general wispiness to them, which is really pretty. I don't know what I was expecting. I think I was expecting like a ton of drama and a lot of product coming out onto the lashes. And admittedly, like this is building, like I am noticing that you can definitely get a very dramatic lash with this, but it's giving me a lot of separation that I wasn't necessarily expecting. It's a very, very black formula. I feel like my eyes are like popping with this on. You know, Nabla is known for their eye products. Like I feel like whenever I hear about Nabla, I think about like their eyeshadows, like their glitter eyeshadows. So this kind of makes sense to me. Don't know if I was expecting to love that so much. If both of these last really well together, I will be very happy and I think that there's a good chance that this will be like the eye look that I am doing in like upcoming videos. because I think it's just like kind of perfect. I like really love it. I think just to make everything a little bit more cohesive, I'm gonna take a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer just because I feel like I need a little bronzer. I feel like the makeup has started to warm up on my skin a little bit, and that, I mean, is partially because it's honestly kind of hot in here. So like obviously like things are melting in a little bit more. Sometimes that does not work with a formula. Other times you give a foundation like an hour and you see like its peak performance. I kind of feel like that's what's happening here. And I'm looking up close and I'm like really, really into all of it, including the concealer. That is blowing my mind right now because you guys know how I am with concealer. The fact that I like everything up close right now and it's kind of all melted in and looks very one with my skin. I think, again, adding a little bit of bronzer made everything come together. I'm so happy. I feel like most foundation formulas now, I kind of get like the best of what it's gonna look like immediately when I put it on. This kind of threw me for a loop. It's always nice. It's always nice to have a little makeup surprise. But something that I had to truly use my self-restraint when I got this package was to not try on every single one of these lip products from Nabla. So they have their Beyond Jelly sheer lipsticks that I've been looking at these for a while. So I was very, very happy that they sent these to me. But they also have their Beyond Blurring lipsticks, which I haven't heard of before, but the shades look incredible. I don't know which we'll go with today. We could like do a combo of both. I don't know, but I think I want to try on at least a couple shades for you guys of each. So I think let's start off with the blurring matte lipsticks because I have a feeling that the jelly ones could stain. So I have first the shade Celeste. I don't think I'm going to swatch this one. I don't know, guys. That kind of shade typically does not look great on me, and I would just rather be able to donate that one. Aphrodite, on the other hand, looks like a shade that I would absolutely love. You know, that like beautiful kind of terracotta, like subtle red. So I think I want to try on that one, especially because of like my shirt. I think it might go well together. And I also have the shade Dia, which I think also has potential. I think I need a little bit more intensity as far as my cool tone nudes. Like a very beige cool tone nude, I just feel like really washes me out. But let's first try on the shade Aphrodite. Kind of like a coconut pina colada scent. Wasn't expecting that. I didn't know how pigmented these were going to be, but they're a little bit stiffer. You know, they still got some pigment. You know what this reminds me of? The Refi lip blurs. Very similar formula. And if you are familiar and have been on my channel, you know I absolutely love those. Do I even apply another one? Do I even? I love that so much. Did I blend this out right? But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and try on another shade. This one definitely stained a little bit, which I think is good for just to know that the staying power is there. It's a very well balanced formula. Like the fact that it is thin, but also has that kind of silicone blur without it feeling thick and heavy and kind of like a silicone primer on the lips. You know how some of those blurring lipsticks have that feel? This one is thin enough and adheres enough on the lips that it doesn't give you that feeling. And the blur is also very natural. Again, it doesn't look like contrived. It's very softening, but again, not like uncanny valley, which is weird. I think some very, very, very smoothing makeup products can kind of give that vibe. But I think I want to try on one of the jelly ones now. Libido, Nocturna, and Thea. Packaging is very substantial and heavy. This is the shade Libido. Same scent. I'm really, really excited about this shade. Now we have the shade Dia, which I also had the shade Dia in the blurring lipsticks. So this must be a popular shade. Maybe I'll try on this one of the jelly lipstick. And then lastly, we have Nocturna, which is really pretty. I wonder if this is at all similar to like a Clinique Black Honey. It looks like there might be a little bit more purple in that one. I say let's go ahead with Dia and see how this looks. I remember seeing the ads for this and being like blown away by like the jelly kind of quality of them. But in person, this definitely has more pigment, like creamy pigment than I was expecting, but let's see how it looks on. You can see it does have like a decent amount of pigment, but the texture is unreal. I don't know if I've ever used a texture like this before. A lot of these like lustrous lipsticks that have come onto the market, like the Revlon balms. I think L'Oreal has one, high pigment lip balm lipstick hybrid. This is very similar to that idea. The formula is stiffer, so this feels more secure on the lips. The reason I don't like a lot of those formulas is they feel like way too melty and buttery in a way that makes it kind of feel too oily and like it's gonna get everywhere. But because this has a little bit more stiffness, it feels way more secure. I don't think this is like a jelly effect, like what they're talking about, or what, you know, I saw in like a lot of the advertisements, but this is still a very unique formula. And the blurring formula was also very unique. I'm very, very happy with these. Stain like a little bit, especially that one. Or maybe it's just like they're the combo of both. Here we go. All right, I want to try on one more shade. I think I'm going to try on the shade Libido. Do you see that texture? It's just so interesting. If I saw this texture, I would immediately expect this to be like a really, really melty, creamy kind of lipstick, balmy texture, but they're so much stiffer and I think it really works to their advantage. You know, in the tube, they look like they have a lot more creamy pigment than they actually do. They actually go on more similar to a stain, which I really love. I don't know if I don't know if I've gotten too into this with you guys, but as of recent, I've almost been wearing exclusively lip stains because I just don't have to worry about them. And I feel like this like is one of those lip products that I wouldn't have to worry about. I know I said I wasn't gonna try on another one, but I feel like I need to try on one of the blurring ones now. Like, do you see how beautifully that's gonna fade on the lips? I wanna try Dia in the blurring lip formula because I really liked the color in the jelly lip formula. It's just fantastic. Fantastic. I think I'm gonna blot a little off. And here we are, people, a full face of Nabla. I gotta tell you, I am just very pleasantly surprised by the way everything turned out. In fact, I was kind of looking at my makeup, and if you told me that I was just using like typical staple makeup products that I already know I love, I would believe you. And that is usually a good tell of some exceptional formulas. I am going to wear this all day, so I'll leave you guys a little update down below with how everything wore because that definitely is the big test. But overall, thank you guys for listening. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed kind of just sitting and chatting and trying on makeup today. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in my next one.